I'm Josh Liston from On the Bubble Podcast, an oral history of television fandom, part of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're checking out now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other awesome geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 509 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. This is recorded live on Sunday, November 27th, 2022. We got a good show for you guys today. I'm excited about this one. Let's kick things off with some intros, though, before we get into the fun stuff. I'm Chris. Joining me today, we'll start first, Mr. Willie D. Nelson.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing this morning?
On a scale of 1 to 10, like a 9. I'm well caffeinated. I'm awake.
I'm glad you're doing well.
I don't like this voice. I don't like it one bit.
Well, I'm sorry, but you'll have to deal with it.
Uh-oh. Mute Willie. We already don't like the voice.
Yeah.
Who is that? Who's speaking?
And as you heard also, Mr. Anthony Bachman, of course, here, advising us to mute the Willie.
Good morning, people. Welcome to the Hulk 181 era. Yeah, the first Wolverine is there. It's small and you can't see it, but it is there. I promise. Hulk 181, right there above the Daily Bugle. I got Daily Bugle. I got Hulk 181. What more do you need in life?
I can't
Close-up shot of it.
I can't think of anything personally. I'm excited about it.
I need a better webcam. Damn it, I gotta get a new webcam.
But we do have.
I'm trying to see it.
Well, we can show it off later. I'm sure he'll put it up on the old Bird app or something like that
I'm
for
not
people to
asking
drool
for
over.
it. I'm just making fun of him.
I see how it is. But we do have a guest joining us today, longtime guest to the show. Super excited about it. I'm going to kick things off to Anthony Doe. Please do the introductions for us. You're far better at it than I am.
See, I've been working on trying to get better at my Kevin Smith introductions. So whether you know him as the man from the PKD Black Box, or you're lucky to catch him occasionally now on Culture Trappin', he has been kicking ass throughout the comics world for multiple decades now, writing up a storm. He has a series of kids' books on Amazon now under the title Gamer, and he's got more news for us. He's the man with the golden voice, the golden microphone, and the golden keyboard, the one and only Sean Pryor.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for that intro. I appreciate that. Thank you all for having me back on the show. It's been a while, and so it's gonna be a good time today. Thank you.
It is. I mean, we have also on this many a times reminisced about Sean's times at Toys R Us too, which were always entertaining.
Yeah, it's been too long.
It's been
Stories
too
from
long.
Sean are the best.
There was nothing like working in the security booth at Toys R Us during the holiday season and learning that very quickly the best way to deal with customers was to barter when a certain ticket item was not available in the video game security booth. All the video games were in the security booth, every last one. So, because back in the day, it was a ticket system. You would go out to an aisle and you see all the video games. They have like a little, you see the picture of the video game, you could flip it over, and you would see the back of the box and it would tell you what the games. Underneath that would be a ticket. Okay? So you take the ticket, you take it to the counter. Yep, you take it to the counter. And they scan it and you pay for it. And then I would be in the security booth with all the video games. And like a little box, little receipt box would pop up. And like, okay, they're getting a copy of something on Game Geek. All right, great. So you go get that copy, you put that ticket on top of it, the little receipt that you got. They come, they show you the receipt with the ticket. Boom, give them their game. Well, problem was, managers like, oh man, just print extra tickets. I'd be like, hey man, we got one copy of Donkey Kong Country left. One. Print one ticket, because there would be no tickets like in the little ticket thing. I'm like, print one ticket. Manager's like, well, we'll just print 10 because sometimes, parents just take them and they don't buy the thing. And I'm like, no, print one ticket. Because
Scandalous.
If you print more than one ticket and I don't have that copy, they're not going to be fussing at you. They're going to fuss at me. Then they're going to fuss at you. And then you're going to come and fuss at me for what you did. Right? And so I was like, okay, all right, y'all gonna print extra tickets? All right, that's fine. I'll show y'all. Okay, cool. So this would happen a lot. They overprint tickets. Like, oh, we're gonna get our child a copy of Donkey Kong Country for Christmas. They come back there, I'd be like, okay. And that's the first thing I would say, because I was like, okay, you wanted a copy of Donkey Kong Country, right? They're like, yep, here's the receipt right here. I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell you, management purposely overprinted tickets. I don't have any copies left. And I'm before you get mad, I'm very sorry. However, I have an offer for you. Now, in this offer, what I can do is Donkey Kong Country costs you, I think it's like $59.99. Okay, I said that costs you $59.99 plus tax. I'm willing to do this. You see all these games back here? If you want any other of these games that equal up to $59.99, I will give you those. On the condition that you do not return them, you do not talk to management about this. It's our little secret. Okay? So that's what we had to start doing. That's what I had to start doing in order to survive. And if they said no, they didn't want to do that, they'll just return the ticket. It's like, well, we won't tell them. It's going to get the return. It's not your fault. I had a few people like that, and they were cool, and I appreciated that. But the others was like, yeah, man, we can trade off. It's all good. It's fine. I had one family come through. They wanted like Mario, or like a certain Mario game, and I was like, we ain't got the Donkey Kong Country because they spent like $100. But I was like, does your son like Power Rangers? He's like, yeah, we loves them. Oh, we got a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game. Okay, that costs this much. Boom. I was like, okay, do they like Shaquille O'Neal? And like, and I explain. Let me explain. And
Plus,
like,
at the time, everybody was about some
time.
Shaq Fu.
You didn't give them. Oh my!
Hey man, Shaq Fu was on sale, baby. It was $19.99.
There's a reason it was that cheap.
I love Shaq Fu.
I've never got past the first person.
I love Shaq Fu. Corny ass fight game. I love that shit. But here's the thing. I had so many copies of Shaq Fu in the security booth because like every store over ordered. Electronic Arts was like, we're going to get all this Shaq Fu money. So they ordered all these copies. I literally had like 8 boxes full of Shaq Fu up top for the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Not to mention the ones that are already on the shelves inside the security booth. So, Mom was like, she loves Shaq. And then like the dad was like, the dad got hype. He was like, well, what about Ryman? I can hold my own. Knick, knack, shack, attack, give a dog a bone. Like I fell out, and the mom, like, and the wife just looked at the husband like, what the fuck?
Why are you embarrassing me in public?
And like the husband was like, I'm sorry, I listened to Shaq Diesel, in the car with our son. I enjoy it. And I was like, it's cool, nice. No worries. So I was like, here's Power Rangers, here's Shaq Fu. All right, let's get you another game. Okay, boom. So I'm like, there you go. Then you know the deal. They was like, it's absolutely fine. I did that a whole holiday season in order to survive in that security booth.
That inventory was a nightmare after the holidays, wasn't it?
I do have a question for how it works. So people got the ticket, paid for it first, and then they came to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
like I was a little kid, so I never saw that in the early 90s.
Yeah, it was a weird system because you'd go into where the games were, and it'd be the front of the boxes on the wall, the back of the boxes on the wall, or sometimes the game information would be on a tab that you could lift up.
Yeah, it was like a plastic laminated
My parents
tab.
never took me to Toys R Us. Are you crazy?
Little plastic pocket, and it had a bunch of little tiny receipts, like this big, like little pieces of paper. And if you pulled one out, that meant they were supposed to have a copy of that game for you to buy. And yeah, like Shaw said, there'd be 10 pieces of paper in there on a game that they've sold 9 of them already. There's only 1 copy left. So you'd buy it, go to the game counter, and they'd be like, yeah, we don't have any of that anymore. But you've already paid for it. So yeah, it was not a good system.
Oh yeah, not at all. And so what I had to do every single day, like I worked, if I worked in the morning, every single day, like I would like check all the games and like do like little stock counts, run out to the floor, and I would pull tickets. I would just pull tickets to cover my own butt, so I wouldn't have to constantly barter like every single waking minute of the hour, because I knew managers would still overprint tickets anyway. But I'm like, you know what? Let me just CYA, and I just start pulling tickets off the floor. Nope, way too many tickets here. Like many a times, like say for instance, whatever Mario game was popular for Super Nintendo at that time, they purposely overprinted 500 tickets, knowing good and well we probably had 20 copies.
You still got their names and numbers?
I wish I did.
So
They
Willie
bet
over
you
their
wish
house.
they didn't, that you didn't.
You know.
I was shocked. I was always shocked how long Toys R Us ran that system for, because I remember going to a Toys R Us to pick up my copy of the Spider-Man 2 video game on the Xbox, and it was still that way. And that was what,
Got the Xbox
2005 when that was 2003, and it was shortly after that maybe they stopped doing it. Like the Toys R Us that we had close to us, they still had that security booth or whatever you would go to put those tickets in. They just covered over it, like all the windows were covered over with stuff, and they just used it for storage then. But it always made me smile when I'd check out, like, oh, I remember those days.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah, they ran that system for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They ran that for like the longest time, and like in the year that I worked at Toys R Us was the year it was like the massive toy explosion. McFarlane Toys had just come out with Spawn figures. Power Ranger toys just hit the stores. Because the show just came out. Power Rangers toys just hit the stores. Toy Biz really started their Spider-Man animated series action figure boom. Kenner was really pushing Batman super hard. They just started the Legends of the Dark Knight run, action figure run. Yeah. Hasbro went into overdrive with not with G.I. Joe Extreme, but although those toys premiered too, those were awful. But they also came through with Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter action figures using basically the G.I. Joe molds. And I wish I kept all those ones I bought because it's actually worth a lot of money now, like a good amount.
Yeah.
Because the Mortal Kombat movie, I believe the Street Fighter movie came out that same year. There were so many toys, like the Tick had toys.
Those toys were great.
The Tick had toys out. Mega Man had toys out to go with its animated series that was premiering in the U.S. There was like so much stuff. Like you name it, it existed. Iron Man had toys based off the animated series, I believe.
Yeah, those were the fun ones too, because you get like the suit of armor and the suitcase, and then there was like 10,000 different Iron Man variants. You had like the underwater armor, the stealth suit, and stuff like that, because it was a cartoon designed to sell toys. Every week you had a different suit, but Iron Man's perfect for that.
Oh yeah, like the year I worked there was probably one of the best times to work there. So it was great. It was a good time.
You probably had the Playmates Star Trek toys about that same time too, which was a pretty big line.
Oh yes. That's where I believe that's where I bought my Star Trek Generations Kirk in the when he was in that parachute outfit.
Yeah. That they cut out of the movie.
That they cut out of the movie with good reason, because
yes.
No reason for it. But that figure was cool as hell back then. I was like, yes, I must have this.
They also made a bunch of those toys with the next-gen characters with different uniforms, because I guess late into post-production they were going to change the uniforms around for the movie, and the new uniforms just didn't test well on screen. So that's why they rolled back to what they'd used in the next-gen series and actually borrowed uniforms from Deep Space Nine. Like Jonathan Frakes is wearing Avery Brooks' uniform throughout the movie when he's wearing the Deep Space Nine uniform. That's why the sleeves are rolled up, because the sleeves weren't long enough for him. So he had the sleeves rolled up because it was Avery Brooks' costume.
Okay, because I was going to say, Avery Brooks is big, but Jonathan Frakes is even bigger, I think. Jonathan Frakes is like 6'3" or something. He's huge.
Yeah, I've met him a couple times. He's a big man.
Yeah.
So, like, they made a bunch of toys in that Playmates line for Generations that had these fancy new uniforms that never showed up on screen anywhere because they didn't test well on screen when they tried to show them off.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there's so much. I fall down rabbit holes of random, like, toy YouTube channels and stuff like that. And the next thing you know, I'll be like, I just spent 4 hours learning about this obscure toy line and all of this random stuff. And like, nobody's going to care about this besides maybe some people I talked to on the podcast. And I'm like, holy crap, I had no idea. Because I can't go up to my wife and be like, did you know they actually had different uniforms for Star Trek Generation? She's going to be like,
yes,
I don't care.
Chris, I already knew that.
I'm over here Googling Tick action figures just to see if they had a chair-face Chippendale. Now I kind of want it because that's just a badass figure. The man has a chair for a
Chippendale
head.
figurine? Is that what I heard?
Chair face Chippendale.
No, I said what I said.
Yeah, I do. I want a figure of Kumail Nanjiani in that suit.
Yeah.
He looked badass.
I was going to say, he's in a Chippendales show.
Kumail's amazing. And he snuck his way into the holiday special, too. If y'all were paying attention, Kumail is in the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Is Mark Hamill actually in it or not? I couldn't tell.
I don't believe so.
Is it holiday special out?
Yes.
Yeah. Came out Friday.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's fantastic. It's what you want in a holiday special with all this, without any of the stuff you don't want. It is so good, and Kevin Bacon's hilarious in it.
Kevin Bacon's in it?
Yeah,
Yes.
Kevin Bacon's in it.
Spoiling everything.
There was
It's
a
in the
trailer.
trailer.
After it came out. 2 days, Bachman.
It's in the trailer.
I haven't even watched the damn trailer.
I
Well,
enjoyed.
That's not my fault.
I enjoyed the mini trailer they put out that was like Kevin Bacon on the Guardian spaceship. He's like, I'm kind of starting to like this, blah, blah. And it just pans over to
Yeah.
Drax. We all hate you.
Yeah, there's so much good stuff to love about the holiday special, which we can get into more of what I'm into. But yeah, the music. There are 2 songs in there that are utterly fantastic. And just James Gunn's amazing. Like, I can't wait to see what he's going to do with DC, because this guy has now done... We're going to have a 3rd movie. We got a holiday special. We got a bunch of group minis, little animated shorts, all based on the idea that James Gunn was like, oh, I'm going to take these 6 characters that no one's ever heard of or ever give a shit about, and I'm going to turn them into the Guardians of the Galaxy, kind of reference the old comic a little bit, but not really, and just do my own thing with them and make a bunch of characters that you're going to fall in love with and want to know more about. And the best thing about the holiday special is it actually adds to the mythos of the MCU. It adds more info about a story that you didn't know, and you get character growth. Not something I was expecting from the holiday special. It is fantastic.
I'm just really excited also that he's heading things up over at DC's film side, because James Gunn writes movies with heart. What has been lacking, and this is not me turning it into a Marvel versus DC thing, but there hasn't been a lot of heart in the DC cinematic universe.
Yeah, we need replacements level, man. Miles and miles of heart.
Right? I want to see a Superman movie
All
so
right,
bad.
Gene Hackman.
Damn right.
That's Christopher Reeves.
Land. It's the one thing they're not making any more of. He's still the
He
greatest.
wants
Lex
to make
Luthor.
Land.
No, Michael
That-
Rosenbaum is.
God, I hate Superman Returns.
Rosamund's good, but
Oh, you talking about Kryptonite Real Estate?
Yeah.
God, I
Yeah.
hate
Kryptonite Real Estate. Boy, let me tell you something. When I first saw Superman Returns, I was just happy. It's just like on the screen. So, oh, hey, he's got a kid. Cool, great. No, I was like, and I was good, like, and I was like, hey, it's cool. Like, you know, it's cool because eventually, something like, you know, and like in comics and the iterations, Superman had a son.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, that's cool. And I was just happy to see Superman again. Now I remember the second time I watched it, and I was just like, we spent 2 hours for Lex Luthor to build kryptonite real estate just so he could shove a kryptonite shiv into Superman's side and say fly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And so we could get a Superboy with allergies and asthma. Like,
Right.
what-
You know, it's
Oh, yes. I also fell asleep in that movie in the theaters. I will say that.
That part made no damn sense. Oh, so he's half Kryptonian, so he's weaker on Earth? What? What?
like
That don't make any sense.
it went from like being a thing of like, oh man, oh, not only that, but like Superman is like sad, distant, bitter baby daddy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's like stalkerish. Like stalkerish baby
I
daddy.
was just like,
Like,
nah.
stalkerish absentee father.
Right.
But
Brandon Routh deserved better, and we got it in Crisis on
yeah,
DC.
that's the thing.
So-
All of that led to better things for Brandon Routh. And so, yeah, like, because we got Kingdom Come Superman with Brandon Routh, like, come on. He was amazing.
Look,
And there are scenes, though. There are scenes in Superman Returns, like when he catches that plane and he walks it on board and talks. Like, if you close your eyes, you hear Christopher Reeves. Like, that man was channeling
That's
Christopher
what-
Reeves in that film.
that's what Bryan Singer was going for, was an
Yeah.
homage and a continuation of the Richard Donner,
Yeah.
Christopher Reeves
It was
stuff.
just, it was. It was a love letter to Richard Donner that didn't break any new ground that needed to be broken,
all I
which
can
is the problem.
all I can remember at that time is we had Batman Begins that came out like the year before that, because I think it was 2005 for that, and then 2006 for Superman Returns, something like that. And there was this girl I was sort of seeing at the time who was trying to argue with me and tell me that Superman Returns was a better movie than Batman Begins. I was like, no, you're
Batman
just
Begins
wrong.
was 2008, wasn't it?
No. That was The Dark Knight.
That was 2004 then, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure it was 2005 for
Six?
Batman Begins.
Yeah, you're right.
Hold up,
Yeah.
I'm on it.
I thought it was 4 years
I
between
got
each
IMDb
movie.
up.
Regardless,
not.
the
The
debate...
end was 2005.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the debate between us became which was better, and I was like, "You're wrong." And she's like, You're not doing yourselves any favors. I'm like, I'm not going to say you're right just because.
And this is why Man of Steel is the best Superman movie.
No, Man of Steel is overcorrection.
You that man's mic. You that man's
That's what we say.
The best Superman movie. Deal with it.
Okay.
Better
1978 Superman.
Better question for you than
Still
Willie.
beats them all.
What is the best Batman movie? And there are two answers I will take as acceptable. Which one is the best?
And one of Chris's answers is
I already
animated.
know I already know both your answers, but I'm gonna throw a wrench in it. I'm gonna say the animated version of The Dark Knight Returns, parts 1 and 2.
Actually, those weren't bad.
Those are pretty good.
Those were pretty solid. And
They even kept the fucking swastika nipple pasties. How they did that blows my mind.
yeah,
Holy
which DC
shit.
executive was not paying attention and let that go through production?
I don't know. I will still argue, though, to this
Commend them
day,
for it. Jesus, they
To-
were a bad guy. So
to this day, the best Batman movie is Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, that's a great movie.
It's a great movie, and Kevin Conroy nails every beat in that movie.
Yeah.
We talked about it shortly after Kevin passed. Was that he nails every bit in that movie, and it's so well done. Tells a compelling story, and also establishes motivations for so many different people. It's perfect. Followed up by Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, the uncut version, near perfection.
which-
Also,
I think that's my favorite Batman movie. If I'm looking at all Batman movies, I think The Return of the Joker is probably my favorite. Though, I mean, Willie's right, though. Peter Weller as gravelly voiced Batman.
it's perfect.
It's the only time I wasn't sad I was missing Kevin Conroy, because I love Kevin Conroy, and that's who I hear in my head when Batman's talking in a comic book. But Peter Weller as gravelly voiced Batman was kind of cool.
It made perfect
was-
sense for that character.
Yeah, it worked. It worked perfectly.
all right, how about this? I want to hear an answer from you since you're trying to grid me out on here.
All right.
What is the worst Batman movie in your opinion? Then
I can't remember the exact title of it, but it was the Batman Batwoman animated movie they did that I didn't really care for.
Yeah, where they slept
Oh, it was
together.
The Killing Joke.
Yeah, well, the Killing Joke, the adaptation of it, I didn't think was very good either. But there was also like a directed DVD where they introduced Batwoman, and they kept trying to. It's been ages since I saw it, but I never really cared for it much. And no, it's not because Batwoman was featured in it; it's because of the way they handled the character. I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Was that the one where there were 3 different women? beating
Yeah,
Batman?
I think that one was it, and it was just it seemed like overkill.
Oh, that's
Sounds
right. Yeah, you had 3
convoluted.
different people were dressed up as Batwoman, so Batman couldn't figure out who Batwoman was because it was actually 3 different people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one wasn't good.
There's probably some, and this is not me taking shots, but some of the more recent DC direct-to-DVD stuff I'm not caught up on because, in part, a lot of people had said it wasn't very good. So probably one of those answers is one of those movies I haven't had a chance to watch yet.
Yeah, without
Teenage
seeing it,
Mutant
my
Ninja Turtles
answer.
versus Batman.
Yeah, I was gonna say without seeing it, I
good,
think my answer would be
sadly.
the one that Willie talks about with the Ninja Jokers.
Batman Ninja.
'Cause that
or is
one
it
just
Ninja
sounds
Batman.
awful.
I don't remember. It doesn't matter. It's so fucking bad. Gee, all these people with Joker like faces in feudal Japan are coming attacking me. Who's your master? Who do you serve? Gee, world's greatest detective. I fucking wonder.
They all work for the Penguin.
Damn it.
All right, but
Oh,
we didn't ask
thank you
Sean. So,
so
Sean,
much.
what is your favorite Batman movie?
My favorite Batman movie. I enjoy the Christopher Nolan ones a lot. I really do.
Mhm.
Not because they're grounded and whatnot. I just really like them. But like coming from where I'm from, man, like Batman '89 really strikes a chord with me.
Yup.
With all of its flaws, it's immensely flawed, But like if you look at it as like a Batman Year One movie, it's good for me. Like, but I enjoy it, flaws and all. I'm like, yo, man, Batman, quit taking everybody. Please stop taking everybody. Please stop taking everyone to the damn Batcave. Alfred, hey Alfred, man, I'm just gonna let her in, dog. I'm just gonna let her in because you know what? You really need somebody in your life. You really need somebody in your life.
You need
besides
someone to talk to.
You need somebody to talk to, so I'm just gonna let her in the Batcave. All right, I'm out. Peace. But like I like the camaraderie between Michael Keaton and Alfred.
Yeah.
I like Billy D. Williams as Two-Face. So much so when we get to Batman Forever, I'm like, yo, where's Billy D. Williams at?
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Like I like the suit, even though the way the suit's constructed, Michael Keaton can't turn his neck. So
Yep.
every turn has to be, we got to turn the whole body. I like
The big rubber cow.
Right. I like the fact that he's got modified Air Jordans boots.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
The colors, like the black suit with the yellow, with the yellow circle with the black bat,
Yeah.
like that aesthetic became like powerful, and like that, like, 'cause basically we got posters with that symbol as the preview, as like, hey, teaser,
Yep.
Batman's coming. That like icon became like even more iconic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so like it had like the whole thing has a lasting effect. Not to mention the fact Jack Nicholson is the Joker.
Yeah.
He got a hell of a deal. Jesus,
Oh, yeah.
he gets so much money. Like
Oh,
that,
yeah,
that man could have quit acting off of that.
He got Robert Downey Jr. money back in '89.
Yeah. Like all the deals that were backloaded into his contract, including getting top billing, just wild. But like I said, it's fun, it's ridiculous, it's but like it's everything in that moment in time. And like me and Tim Burton has always been a mixed bag, but like there's just something about like visuals, the Batmobile itself. I forget the gentleman, Anson First. The Anson First designed Batmobile. All of it. It's just like I just enjoy all of it. So like it just really sticks with me.
That's fair. Yeah.
It really sticks with me. Not to mention like the Prince soundtrack. In all sincerity, like listen, like he basically was like, look, I'm gonna do this soundtrack, and I'm gonna tell a Batman story within this soundtrack, which is very wild. Because seriously, that whole album also tells a story.
Mhm.
So, but Batman '89 really
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and plus, we're old enough to remember because it was the first realistic dark Batman. It's goofy now when you look at it, but in the summer of '89, we were coming off of The Bright Knight. You had Batman '66. That was the live action Batman. So Tim Burton, that was some dark, gritty shit.
and the fact that they were able to take so much thematically out of that and carry it over to the animated series makes
Yeah,
it really
I
cool
mean,
too, because you can tell there's a lot of inspiration from the world that was built in Batman '89. The
All right,
architecture,
Tim
the
Burton
dark
doesn't
themes.
own the
Yeah.
rights to Gothic architecture. All right,
I wasn't saying that he does, but
He's got a handle on it in media, though. He may not own the rights, but he's running first place.
I was just messing with you, Chris. I was just giving you a little hard time.
The Batmobile from the animated series is almost a direct drawing of the Anson First one. Like it's not a straight copy, but it's damn close. They just took that and turned it into a cartoon.
It's a
They're like,
version-
we can make this more cartoony.
it's a version that's a lot easier to animate, I would argue, at the time.
Yeah.
I wish I was living in the world where we actually did get Robin and Batman Returns. Remember who that was supposed to be?
Damon Wayans, wasn't it?
Marlon Wayans.
Marlon? My bad.
Yeah, well, he got fitted for a suit and everything. Hell, he still got paid for second and third movie without even being in it.
Yes.
Damn.
Like, oh, I don't got to be in it, but I'm still getting paid. You just got someone else? Go for it. I don't give a fuck.
Hey man, that's when Tim Burton used to like having black people in his movies.
I mean, I
Try to think.
Wayans Brothers still is one of my favorite superhero movies, and that's Blank Man.
Blank Man.
Fucking Blank Man.
I'm going through the Tim Burton Rolodex in my head, and I can't think of a black actor in any of the movies. Not a
Like I
one.
said, Billy D. Williams
Yeah.
in Batman '89.
Yeah.
And Billy D. Williams in Batman '89.
Yeah.
Now, if Burton would have directed a Superman movie, it's called Superman Lives. If he was going to direct that, he was going to have Chris Rock play Jimmy Olsen.
That could have been cool.
So
Wow. Across from a Nick Cage Superman,
back in
that
the
movie
mid-90s?
would have had a
Yeah.
level of crazy that nobody would have been ready for.
yeah, there's an actual documentary that's been
Yeah.
out a year. About Superman. It's where you get to see the electric suit.
Which was.
So
You saw that was going to be in the movie?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I had like the first
it's-
issue or second issue of him in the blue suit. I had it. I was like, what the fuck's
It's
this?
Nick Cage.
Well, sure.
Well, because we say electric suit, but it's like a polyurethane
Oh,
clear
yeah.
coat, like body shield with an S on it with neon lights. Like it is wolf. Like it is so bad.
It's very, very weird. It's very
Yeah.
So yeah,
You
like,
can see that
documentary's
Yeah.
been out there for years.
Yeah, I think it
Yep.
has.
I mean, hell, back in Spider-Man, we could have got, an actual Green Goblin mask with animatronics in it.
That
They
was
had
cool.
that test footage. But no, we got a Power Rangers
Look,
helmet.
The best lesson they learned when it came to Spider-Man No Way Home was don't put a mask on Willem
break the
Dafoe.
helmet.
He
Or
doesn't
if you
need
do,
it.
make it look cooler.
His face is so animated in what he can do with it.
Yeah.
He didn't need it.
Yeah.
if you can't make it better,
when
don't
the face
do
you're,
it.
Yeah. When the face you're working with is Willem Dafoe's face, you don't cover it.
Yeah.
You just let him go nuts.
I think he can do just about any kind of facial expression, and it's going to look just really good.
Yeah. The man's insanely talented, and his face is a weird form of putty.
He should be
I was gonna say
Clayface.
it
I mean,
was
what?
back. Yeah, shit.
We got
We just
distracted.
rewatched that last night. No Way Home is such a damn good movie.
Yeah, it's a really good Spider-Man flick. Really is. So we did get distracted here by talking about all sorts of memory lane tangents, past like that. We did want to talk to Sean because we'd seen some stuff pop up on the old Bird app about some really cool news that was coming up for you, and I think it's awesome to see. I think, how do we put it on Twitter? Seeing good things happen to good people, it's just a great thing. Willie,
Yeah,
what was
right.
all that about?
You're calling it the Bird app, Jesus.
I like that expression. I like the old Bird
Sure,
app.
just go for it, you 80-year-old man.
Mhm.
I mean, I kind of look it.
Yeah, I know. I'm turning into a polar bear. What do you want from me?
To keep your shirt on, please.
It's still on.
But what we probably should do is talk to Sean. There's some. I don't know the best way to transition it to you, but I saw what you were talking about on Twitter, and I just geeked out. And I think that's the best way to kick it over to you. I don't know.
Yeah. Sean's got awesome news.
He does.
Well, I'll break it down. I'll break it down for everybody. Okay, so this is what's going on. Next year, Boom Studios will be putting out Go Power Rangers Book 2 Deluxe Edition, the hardcover, and it will contain tons of Power Rangers comics from their current Go Go Power Rangers run. But it will also have an exclusive 10-page story written by me, featuring art by George Cambaday. It is exclusive
Hell
to
yes.
the hardcover, if I'm not mistaken, and I believe it comes out in June of 2023. Now, for those who know me, they know that, like, yes, I've been writing comics, I've been writing kids books, I've been in this game for like 15 years. One thing that I've wanted to do during my time in comics was one. Thank you all. I appreciate the plug. Anthony always looking out for me. I appreciate
He's the
plug.
best hype man in the
Always.
business right there.
Always.
Like in all my time, especially when I was heavy in the comic business, one thing I wanted to do, it was one licensed IP I always wanted. Power Rangers. More than anything. Because I've always been a big Super Sentai fan and Power Rangers fan since then. And all the paths I took in the comic book industry never led me there. And my time in the comic book business was rough. Getting out of it for a good period of time was one of the best things that ever happened to me. It's enabled me to expand my portfolio, get into different things, write different types of stories, and doing those different types of stories in different types of mediums actually helped me mend bridges and be able to still do comics and whatnot. And so because Anthony knows I do Kickstarters, and so does Chris. They know I do Kickstarters for comics like Ignition and all types of stuff.
I was going to hold up the gamer book, and I realized I don't have it because I gave it to my nephew for his birthday.
It's all good. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you made a segue into that. Because
We will say 100%. Sean Pryor is a 100% creator on Kickstarter. I backed, I think, 8 projects now, maybe 9.
Yes.
I think I'm 3 or 4 now.
Every single project, I have gotten everything promised on time.
Yep.
I cannot say that about a whole long damn list of creators on Kickstarter. I can say that about Sean Pryor. 100% delivery on all projects. Solid communication through the entire process when there are print delays, when shit happens, because life happens. Everybody knows that. But there are plenty of Kickstarters that don't communicate, don't tell you what's going on, don't let you know what's up, and then your book shows up maybe 6 years later. I just got a comic from a pro writer like 2 days ago that I was supposed to get a year and a half ago. There's about 6 emails in between. Not quite great on communication, but it did show up. 100%. I always tote this. Sean Pryor is a 100% delivery on Kickstarter for every single project, and that is not to be messed with.
Well, thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. As a matter of fact, I need to send everybody a Kickstarter update on Ignition 3. We just wait for these books to arrive. These print delays are a mug. But with the gamer is a we call those like a high-low reader. High-low reader books, short sentences. We emphasize certain keywords like special effects wording and stuff like that, and spot illustrations. We do that for a company called Capstone. And this book series goes over really well with the kids. And so what happened was that when Capstone came to me and said, hey, we're doing this book series called The Gamer. We would like to write it. And I was like, yeah, sure, sounds good. What's it about? And they're like, oh, we don't know. And they were like, we want you to come up with like the idea for it. They said, we want you
That's
to come
awesome.
up with the idea. And so I said, okay, all right, cool. And they were like, we're going to team you up with an artist by the name of Francesca Figueroa. Oh, okay, go. So I was like, okay. And at this time, this is a couple years ago. And it's going to say like 2020. Yeah, late 2020. I said, okay, we're never going to be able to write Power Rangers or Boom as Boom. Why don't we create like a Super Sentai character for kids? And then this way, I personally can make peace. I can make some peace with myself, and also at the same time give the kids something that they're going to enjoy. I said, okay, this is cool. So like the gamer is like, American Super Sentai for kids, featuring this like, and it's a superhero. It's a 13-year-old by the name of Tyler, has a special wrist device. He loves playing video games, and this wrist device he turns to a superhero called the Gamer. He battles villains created by Cynthia Cyber, who pulls like characters out of video games to like, take over the world, but not. And I've written like 8 of those books so far. Kids love them. Absolutely love them. It's honestly probably like my best-selling book. Okay? Love doing it, love writing them. Hope I get to write more stories as them. So I was like, that was my way to make peace. Like, so like if this Power Rangers thing never happened, if like, we're writing for like a comic book company that has licensed IP, never happened. I'm like, it's okay because I made peace with it. I got to co-create the game with Francesca Figueroa, and like it allows me. It's opened up so many doors for me. I get to talk to school kids about the Gamer. Actually, last week on a Tuesday, I was at an elementary school all day, and like I got to talk with like 1st through 5th graders about how the Gamer books are made. In the auditorium, like a slide presentation and everything. And then I was in the library for the rest of the day, and each grade group came through, got an autographed copy. If they had any more questions, they could ask me.
That has to be incredibly rewarding, just to sit and talk with kids about something like that you created and have them just be enthralled by it and love the character too.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like even some of them, like in the library, they like wrote thank you notes and like left them on the table.
That's amazing.
I'm a little angry I wasn't invited.
And but it's like it's real heartfelt. You know what I mean? Like, kids come through like, hey, thank you for coming by. Because I guess for the school that I went to, this is the first time that they had a visitor come talk to them since the pandemic started.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So, they're just like, oh, this is so cool. You're an author. You write books. Blah, 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 blah. And so, they give me a hug. Or like, hey, give me a thank you note. One of them made me a paper airplane. Another kid asked me to sign his shoe.
That was the one I loved.
Did you?
You signing shoes.
I did sign the shoe.
Nice.
When a kid hands you a pen and says sign my shoe, like, all right.
When you answer your phone, you answer the phone.
Right?
Yeah.
They're like, I won't get in trouble. These shoes are old. They're all busted up. Mom ain't gonna say nothing. You sign my shoe. I'm like, oh, jeez. But yeah, I get to do that now because of this book. Actually, I talked with masters of fine art students at a college in Louisville about writing careers, and like, this is where we make money. This is where we don't make money. This is like deadlines, turnarounds. This is what one publisher does opposed to another one. This is what having a literary agent looks like. all this stuff happened once I left the comic book business. All this started to happen. Once I started to write in like other mediums and stuff like that, I started to get the respect that like I wanted so badly in the comic book business stuff. God. So now, go back to where we started. Power Rangers. The reason why I got that story is because of a friend of mine. My good friend T. Franklin, writer, creator of Bingo Love. She wrote a backup story in Nail Biter. She also has written some of the Harley Quinn animated series comics as well. Bunch of other things too. Incredibly talented, fantastic writer, fantastic friend. She's like a sister to me. I've known her. An editor at Boom reached out to T and said, "Hey, can we have a talk?" Because I guess they wanted T to pitch some. And so while T is talking to the editor, Daphne, talking with Daphne, T put my name in the room. You know? And like T does this all the time. She's like, "Well, I'm gonna go talk with so and so. I'm gonna make sure I mention your name." I'm like, "T, don't worry about me. I'm gonna be okay. I'm all right." She's like, No. I'm gonna put your name in the room. She's like, "I'm gonna be okay. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna get what I need to get, but I'm gonna make sure that you get, what you need to get." So I said, "Okay." And she's done that a lot. She's put my name in a lot of rooms. Okay. And because you never know her. But T mentioned my name to Daphne and said, Sean would love to write a Power Rangers story and whatnot. And then she forwarded Daphne. I did a Power Rangers book for fun.
This is a good read too.
It was thank you. It was an unofficial Power Rangers comic called Total Eclipse. And it was written by me and it was drawn by George Cambides. And so it's still available free. I think it's like on my Crown Taker Studios Gumroad thing. I think it's still available. Pay what you want. But she sent that to Daphne. And Daphne was like, "Oh, I've seen this before." Because George Cambides had sent penciled and inked and colored pages from that comic as sample work to like Boom editors like Daphne. She's like, "I've seen this before." She was like, "Oh, I thought he was just trying out for, he was just trying out for Power Rangers. I didn't know this was an actual like comic that Sean wrote with George." She was like, "We got to get him on."
That's awesome.
And
Happy day.
And from there, Daphne reached out to me via email and said, because her time was winding down as an editor on one of the Power Rangers titles. She said, "We got this hardcover coming out next year. We got a tight deadline. Can you do a 10-page story? Let's talk about it." She was like, "Would you like George to draw it?" And I was like, get the team up with the dude that like I did a Power Rangers comic with. Of course.
Oh,
and,
hell yeah.
And George is going places. Like George is drawing Gargoyles for Dynamite right now. He's done like a lot of work for Boom. He's done books with writer Alex Segura, called Black Ghost and stuff like that. Like George is getting work. I told George like 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, "Man, you'll be a primetime player soon," and he is. He's incredible. And now I get to do a 10-page story with him. Turned in the script. George did like turnaround like that.
Wow.
And like Hasbro approved my script, which was cool. I was like, "Oh, please approve it." So Hasbro, because like it goes through like a monstrous process.
Yeah, I was going to say, how long did it take that approval process there? Because I imagine with Hasbro winning Power Rangers, there's multiple levels of review for everything at this point in time.
The script got turned around real quick.
Did it?
I was surprised at
how
quickly the script got turned around. Got turned around in about like less than a week. They turned around on it fast.
Wow.
And the reason why they had to turn around on it fast is because like this book has to go to wherever they're printing it. It has to go like I think like a couple of weeks from now. So like if they're getting their books printed overseas or wherever, they got to have that lead time. So like they did the turnarounds on the script real quick. George did like roughs, then layouts. We got to look them over. He did pencils and inks super quick. Then colored it. We looked at it. Only a couple of minor changes needed to be made, and that got sent to Hasbro, and like the rest is history. So I'm really hyped about this. So like in June 2023, Go Power Rangers Deluxe Edition Book 2 will be out. and you'll see my story in there. I can't tell you what it is. That's one thing I gotta keep on the low.
That's fair.
But like,
No, I need details now. I'm just
Willie, you can't even read.
You don't need to tell people that.
We'll just have you look at the pretty pictures when it comes out. Don't you worry.
I already do.
Sean will tell you what the story is. You can follow
I
along.
was gonna weasel my way into that. You don't need it.
so you know, but like, so like I'm good with it. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm thankful. So I thank T for putting my name in the room. And I said this on Twitter too. It's just like, if you have the opportunity to put a name in the room, do it.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know how that can change things. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, this may be. I'm not going to say, never say never, but like this could be the only time I ever do a licensed IP. You know what I mean? And if it is, so be it. It's okay as far as comics go, because like I'm doing good. Like I'm writing a ton of books for Capstone. I'm about to write a book for Penguin Random House. I got a graphic novel coming out next year called Fast Break, drawn by Courtney Hawn. That's published by FSG Macmillan. Like in the summer or fall of 2023. I'm okay. And like and I think the thing is about it, when I say like, I stepped away from the comics business, people are like, oh, that means you're done with comics. Oh man, I still, it's just that like, I'm not like trying to chase them. I'm not trying to chase that. So all that did, man, all that did was trying to bust through doors, trying to constantly prove my worth. I know my worth. I know my worth now. I know who I am, and I know what I can do, and I know what I'm capable of. No, man, they need me more than I need them.
Damn right.
Hell yeah. And I mean, it's got to feel nice to check off that little life goal of write Power Rangers, write a Power Ranger story. It's just got to feel nice in your little, whether it's a mental book or a book you've got written out somewhere, just to check that box off and kind of look at it and be like, damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. And that feels good. Like, for real. Like, that feels so good. And like, and I'm like I said, I'm happy about it. It's like one of the best things that's happened to me this year. Like it's not the best thing. Like the best thing is on December 11th, I get married. So yeah.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Thank you.
John Pryor's about to have some nuptials.
Yes, nuptials are coming.
Hell yeah.
Really cracking me up over it.
I try.
So yeah, man. So yeah, like I'm good. A good place. And thank you. Thank you for having me on here to talk about this. So,
Well, not to overextend ourselves, we'll have to have you on closer to the release of the book again too, just so we can hype people up, of course. Because I've talked up the Power Rangers books on this show before too. Because when they first started the run of the Power Rangers books, when Kyle Higgins was writing and stuff, that's really what hooked me in. Because I'd met Kyle at a few different conventions and stuff, and loved his run on Nightwing. And I am not current on the books now, but that's kind of what drew me back to Power Rangers after years of not really doing much besides figure hunting because the toys look so cool.
Oh yeah. I've kept up with Power. Like my run for time through Power Rangers when it first started as MMPR, all the way through like the end of like Disney.
Oh wow.
So like from Mighty Morphin all the way through Power Rangers RPM. So like I followed it like all the way through. So but then it started back up on Nickelodeon, and when it started back up on Nickelodeon, like I would sporadically like hop in and out, because like I was like this is okay, I was like this stuff is all right. There's no offense to like any of the actors, writers or anything. I was just like I was like, hey, it's for a different generation. It's cool. Like I've got like 20 something years of
right.
Like I'm okay. Then Hasbro came in, bought it from Saban. It's like, okay, we got this now. So now they're like in this phase of, okay, we really need to finally put closure on the, as we call it, like the Zordon /Saban / new Saban era. We need to close all of this because we're about to start this all over.
Yeah.
about to start this all over. So right now they're filming Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, which is like basically season 2 of Power Rangers Dino Fury.
Yep.
Because this is the other weird. This is the other thing that, like, once they got on Nickelodeon, once Saban had bought Power Rangers back from Disney, and this is before Disney knew what they had with Power Rangers. This is also before Disney bought Marvel. Because if Disney realized what they had now, they're like, oh my god.
Yeah, they wouldn't have let that go.
They wouldn't have let it go, and we'd have
Yeah,
had some weird animated crossovers between Marvel and Power Rangers, and I'd have been all for it. All for it.
You know, like they had no idea what they had. You know, and so when Saban, Saban sold Power Rangers to Disney for a lot of money.
And bought it back for very little.
Very little. And then got it, worked with Nickelodeon, made all this money, and then Hasbro was like, you know what? We'll buy it. And so Saban is like, I got rich twice. Actually, I'll take that back. 3 times. From the first run of Power, from when he first had the Power Rangers, to when he sold it to Disney, to when he sold it to Hasbro. Man got rich off of it 3 times.
Yeah, because he was a genius from the get-go, because he sold to Fox a show where he only had to pay filming of half of the show, because he was just re-airing the Japanese fight scenes. So all he had to get was American actors to do the scenes where they're walking around the high school. He produced half a show and charged them full price. The man was a genius.
Well, it's also because of him in part that we got like the 90s Spider-Man cartoon too, is because Fox wasn't super interested in it. And Saban's like, well, if you want Power Rangers, you need to green light that, is what it came down to.
Yeah, like Saban had a lot of leverage when it came to like doing the Fox Kids network. Like the Fox Kids stuff for the cartoons, like he had like a lot of say. And so like there was a reason
X-Men that was.
Yeah, there was a reason why when you watch the X-Men cartoon, like for a period of time you watch, like, oh, okay, cool when you watch the closing credits, but then like at the end of the closing credits you started to see like the little Saban Entertainment logo. You know, like, what's that about? You know, that man had push. You know, that man had a lot of push.
The Fox Kids execs weren't really interested in having highly serialized cartoons. And that's what they pushed that X-Men cartoon on. Because remember, like the Dark Phoenix Saga and the Phoenix Saga, when they did it, was like 18 parts long on Fox Kids, which is completely outside the norm of what you would expect for cartoons at that time. And the reason it happened, I misspoke, it wasn't Spider-Man that Saban did, it was X-Men, where Saban was like, hey, you guys want more Power Rangers, you got to do this X-Men thing.
The best cartoon theme song of all time!
The Japanese version is even better than the American version theme song.
I will challenge that without listening to it.
We literally just got the introduction of Wheelchair Patrick Stewart with the da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, we literally got it in the MCU because that cartoon theme song is so badass.
People do not understand the amount of influence Saban had on like weekday syndicated cartoon television and Saturday cartoons. Because like the thing is that the moment Disney bought bought Power Rangers, they also bought Fox Kids essentially, and that's why like a year or two after that, it went from being Fox Kids to the Fox Box, and Fox Box was run by 4Kids Entertainment, and that's why the quality just like nosedived, you know, and that's why like you know you started to see like that's when like when it used to be called like ABC Family, now it's Freeform, but like when it was ABC Family, they're like, oh yeah, man, we got all these Power Ranger episodes, man, we about to just run these like there's no tomorrow. And literally, that gave like all those old shows new life, and like it brought like a whole new audience to kids. You know, it brought a whole new audience to kids, and so then Disney's like, oh yeah, well, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and finish Power Rangers. What was it called? It was the one after Power Rangers in Space? Wild Force. We'll finish Power Rangers Wild Force. We'll finish that off. Then we're gonna air it on ABC. We're gonna increase the production value, and like you know, like they did their run like Wild Force to Power Rangers Ninja Storm, to Dino Thunder, to Mystic Force, Dino Thunder, then SPD, then Mystic Force, and then like a couple others in between, like and a couple other series too.
This is the era where I wasn't in it as much, where I just kind of watched in passing, but there was a definite increase in production value that was noticeable with the Disney one.
Yeah, like it was great. It's just the biggest problem that Disney had was that like they put Wild Force on and Ninja Storm on ABC on Saturdays, but after that they're like, yeah, we'll just play it on Disney XD. So, and then this is also during a period of time where cable, yeah, you still got a lot of people with cable, but not everybody had access to Disney XD because that was part of an extra package, okay? And then they're like, well, why are the ratings so low? And I'm like, bro, everybody ain't got Disney XD, fam. You know, I'm like, you can't, but the toys were selling. The toys are still selling. But you can't blame folks for not watching it if they can't see it. You know? And then they're like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll just put it back on ABC at 12:30. Oh, look, it's college football season. Well, I guess we have to preempt it. Well, I guess you won't see it.
Yep.
You know, so, and then it became a thing of, they're like, well, we just don't know what to do with it. I'm like, well, you stop. Just like, oh, we don't need this.
They
How do you
needed
walk
their
with
own.
all those holes in your foot because you keep shooting it over and over again. How? How do you walk?
Could you imagine if they had their own Kevin Feige like person just to come in and take the reins of that franchise and just pilot it along?
Yeah, it'd have been wild.
Yeah.
Because also the other thing is that what a lot of people don't know is, especially with the Disney stuff, when Disney bought them, like every actor's contract said that, like, yeah, you do all these episodes and the possibility of every single one. Dino Thunder, SPD, Mystic Force, RPM, Overdrive. It's always in the contract. Possibility of like, you know, but Disney would never do that because it's just like, well, what do we do? So, but now you got a situation where, like, support Cosmic Fury coming out on Netflix, probably I think like sometime this year. They're just going to close this all out because, like, they're just like, okay, like, we've got the money. Let's do this for like the kids and like the kids at heart. Let's bring like a lot of the original cast back from like the MMPR.
Exactly. That's what's so cool is I saw some of the stuff coming for this upcoming series where they're bringing back cast members from the original run, and they're bringing back a character to play one of the original members' daughters in this run too, which is really cool. Because sadly, they can't bring the original actor back because she passed away many, many years ago. But
yeah, the actress that played Trini, Thuy Trang, like, you know, died in car accident. And so, like, they're like, okay, well, we'll just, you know, we're going to hire this actress over here to play Trini's daughter. Like, well, that's really cool.
that's neat.
So yeah, but like they brought back Walter Jones as Zach. They brought back David Billy. They brought Steve Cardenas in as Rocky. They got
Johnny Young Bosch
as Adam. They got Karen Ashley as Aisha. They got Catherine Sutherland as Kat. There's a rumor Amy Jo Johnson might be back for like a quick little hello. You know, and the thing is that supposedly, like, Walter Jones and David Yost, like, they're going to be in a few episodes at least a few episodes at least. Because the other thing is that like, say for instance, like for me and for like a lot of folks that are like my age or like in their late 20s, early 30s, anytime you hear, oh, so and so's coming back, you know, and they're like, and I'm like, no, I'm only going to see him for 15 seconds. It's not going to be what I think it is. Like, a long time ago, Disney gave us an episode for Wild Force called Forever Red, where they basically, I think it's like the 10-year anniversary of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as a whole.
Side note, it's on the Power Rangers official YouTube channel right now if you guys want to go watch it.
It's a fantastic episode.
It's great.
And it's like basically every Red Power Ranger except Steve Cardenas, who they couldn't find at the time. They couldn't find him at the time, but it's every Red Power Ranger at the time for like the first 10 years. They all team up. And it was really cool. And like I was like, oh, this is Disney money on the screen. I was like, damn, this is nice. Oh, we're gonna have some fun with this. This Disney era is gonna be great. And they did some cool stuff. But the thing is that when you would do an episode like that, once you put Forever Red out, it's like the bar is set.
Right.
And so like, there'd be a lot of times where like Nickelodeon's like, Jason David Franklin's coming back as Tommy, and these Rangers are coming back too. And it's like, it's not the same because, you know, like, y'all don't know how to balance that. Y'all don't know how to balance that, so you just get a taste. Whereas with like Forever Red, it's like, here's the whole buffet. Hey, y'all have fun with that.
Yeah, what was in Super Mega Force when they brought back like all these Power Rangers, but it was just like one episode where they all show up and you're like, this is really cool, but man, it could be so much more.
It was so short. You know, it was just the biggest tease. It was just the biggest tease. And so like, and that's really all you really got. So like, you know, these cats that are running it right now, these are going to be the same cats that, like, when they reboot the series and start over from like a clean slate, they're just like, let's close this out. Let's, you know, do some stuff for the fans. Let's do some stuff for the kids. But like, let's put a nice bow on this. Then after that, we're going to call it a day and we're going to start all over, do it the way we want it. Which is fine, you know, which is fine. Like, we don't own this stuff. So do what you feel you got to do, because no matter what happens, they're still going to sell MMPR toys. Hasbro is never going to let go of
Oh heck no.
No.
Lord, if you look at now, if you look up here, you see all these Power Rangers that I got up here up on the top, and from all of those, they've done so many re-releases on just Mighty Morphin.
Yep.
They're never going back.
I mean, and then they're even making the toy releases like Lord Draken and stuff like that, which are really cool, and the statue releases of them. So if you're not familiar, he wasn't in the show, Willie, Lord Draken, but Lord Draken's from a different Earth.
Oh,
where Tommy decides to follow Rita, betrays her, kills her, and then takes the White Ranger powers also. It
clicked in.
I completely undercut how awesome that story is and how long they've extended it throughout the books, but it was fantastic. And even Jason David Frank was doing live action stuff as Lord Draken as they are promoting the series and stuff like that. It was really cool. I was also hoping, and it sadly won't ever happen now, I wanted a live action adaptation of the Soul of the Dragon book that they did. That was the end of Tommy's story, where he one last time uses all of his different Power Ranger forms. That would have been really cool too, because they had established it in the show. He had the Master Morpher that allowed him to change between all his different Power Ranger forms. And this book he's using the Master Morpher that's gotten broken, so he gets one last turn as each of his different forms of the Power Rangers. Fantastic story. Fantastic.
So, can you help me out here? I'm trying to remember the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I was a little kid when I watched it.
So was I.
Did they get super strength or something?
When they were suited up, I believe.
Only when they were suited up.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, supposedly they were just regular teenagers when they were walking
with
around
attitude.
when they weren't in. Yeah.
They didn't have that much of an attitude. They were cool kids.
But they also had martial arts skills too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, the
Hip-Hop
best guys. Bulk and Skull.
You would be
Those
a
are
Bulk
the best
Skull
guys.
fan.
Come on. They were bullies that everyone didn't really mind because they were shitty at being bullies.
You should read the comics. They do a lot of cool stuff with Bulk and Skull, and at one point in time in one of them, Skull is actually what is it?
They bully themselves more than anything.
He's grabbing.
He's a
let's throw this
Tyrannosaurus
pie at
sentry
him. Oh,
undercover.
plop.
Is Skull in the comics at one point in time, where he has the power of a Power Ranger, sort of.
Ha! Nice.
$6 in the clearance rack at Target. I couldn't stop myself.
Really?
No, you could have.
No,
You didn't want to.
I couldn't.
I never see those as clearance over at our store. Never see those.
The Tyrannosaurus Sentry had been there forever. Those are the only ones of the Power Ranger toys they put on clearance.
If they have any more over there, let me know.
Yeah, I'll be up there later this week, so I'll check if they have them.
Yeah,
They had 3 or 4 set in there last time I was there because they'd clearanced a bunch of wrestling toys too.
Okay.
That's a problem. I've fallen back into toy collecting, and Power Rangers is a bad thing to toy collect because there's so much cool stuff. So much.
Yes. It's never ending. They're gonna grab your wallet regardless. They will grab.
It was also bad when Toys R Us was shutting down because I was buying a bunch of Power Rangers stuff as they were closing things out. Like the Legacy Green Ranger helmet I was able to pick up for $40. The box was a little damaged, but I was like, I don't care. It's just going out and display. Now I kind of want the White Ranger helmet to put next to it, but I don't really have room for it. It's a problem. First world problems, guys. First world.
Speaking of Toys R Us, they've now reopened Toys R Us stores inside of Macy's.
I heard.
Yeah, they have their own floor. They have their own floor and area in Macy's department store. This was like the way to quote unquote bring Toys R Us back without having to own massive real estate. As most of us know, Toys R Us would still exist as a standalone store, or venture capitalists didn't ruin it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Basically, venture capitalists came in and saddled Toys R Us with a ton of debt that they couldn't get out of. And it was done on purpose. It's like, well, we got all the things that we wanted. Let's just saddle this company with debt. It's okay. Fuck them kids. So, pretty much the motto.
Yeah.
So, and then they slowly try to bring Toys R Us back in certain forms. Like they did a test run in a couple of malls around the country, where it'd be the size of a KB Toys, and basically toy manufacturers will pay for their sections of it. And we tried that for a bit, didn't really work out. Then like they did a thing where they would have like these like drop like pop-up locations like inside of like certain stores for a bit. That didn't really work out. So now they're doing this thing with Macy's where they will have like either a good amount of real estate on one of the floors. You have a multi-floor Macy's. So this is just their way of trying to, for Macy's, it's like, oh, okay, because they cut back on a lot of stuff that they sell too.
They have.
And, like,
They're closing a lot of them too, I think.
Yeah, and this is kind of like their way of being like, okay, well, now we can condense our stores down, and now upstairs or wherever, we can now have a toy store up there and hopefully get people to come to our stores. So will this work? Because we've got one. I haven't had time to check it out yet. Maybe I'll do so this week and see what it looks like. Because I got the email the other day. It's like, yeah, come check out our Toys R Us. So I don't know what it'll look like, but I'll be checking it out.
Yeah, I was looking to see how close Macy's is to me because I think most of the ones close by-ish are gone. So yeah, I got to go up into Pittsburgh proper, about 95 minutes to hit Macy's.
The Greensboro Mall is still a thing, and it's still going. I'm pretty sure there's a Macy's in there. It's like it's literally.
Mall, I'm wondering if they're doing a Toys R Us section if the Macy's is in the mall though.
Probably.
Well, I like that. If you look up Macy's.com, it says "Shop Toys R Us" at Macy's.
Yeah. For me, it's about 75 miles away off the toll road, about an hour and a half to get there. So I'm not going to make a trip specifically for that, but if I find myself in Pittsburgh when I can poke my head in, I certainly would, if it's just for nostalgia, because I'm sure being in Macy's, the prices are not going to be what I expect out of a Toys R Us.
Well, I'll put it to you like this: as they were slowly trying to implement this, this was like sometime last year. I went to the Macy's. I headed upstairs, and this is when they started to make the announcement. And so they had this small toy section, and they had a sign that said, "Hey, Toys R Us is coming soon." But they had a small toy section, and they had some Star Wars action figures and a couple other things. And how they have the vintage collection where it's 3 3/4 action figures with multi joints and everything, highly detailed. They were $10.99.
Okay, that's
not
reasonable.
Not bad.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, so y'all not doing Macy's pricing, huh? Because I was like, oh man, these gonna be $17. $10.99. I was like, well, I guess I will get this Ahsoka Tano then. And
nice.
About my day.
I'm so weak. I want to go figure hunt there now.
Calm it down, Chris. Be strong.
See, I gotta get y'all down here sometime next year because in Lexington, Kentucky, we have a toy store called Toy HQ.
Okay.
It is run by a gentleman who is affectionately known as Toy Vomit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that Toy Vomit?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, Toy Vomit. That's his name. He has a lucha mask, buys toys, and he sells toys, especially wrestling toys.
Yep. That's how I learned of Toy Vomit, was through Ethan Page and Danhausen's vlog videos where they were shopping at Toy Vomit.
Yes, and he also has done a couple of toy shows too. Well, he's reopening his store next year.
Oh, that's dangerous.
And so and it's really cool. He'll have a couple of couple of arcade machines in there. You remember the X-Men arcade?
Oh, do I ever?
He's got that in there. He's got the Simpsons one. He also has the Simpsons 4-player one too.
Actual arcade or the arcade 1-up versions?
Oh no! Actual arcade.
Ooh, good.
The real thing.
So,
no offense to anyone who has arcade 1-up. They're all right, but they ain't
it's
the
not
real
the same.
thing. They ain't the real thing, baby.
He's got that stuff. He's got your Star Wars toys, your Marvel Legends, your DC stuff, the Turtles, Ghostbusters, Aliens, wrestling figures from across the decades. G.I. Joe, just random stuff, Masters of the Universe stuff, you name it, he's probably got it somewhere. Yeah, man. So I'm excited for it to reopen next year. And my wallet won't be happy about it. Yeah, we got to get y'all to come out here. Get some bourbon, some barbecue, and get some toys.
I'm sorry. Get some what? What's that last thing?
Oh no.
Barbecue?
Yes.
You want me to leave my gracious land of barbecue to go to a lesser place of barbecue? Excuse me, barbecue was made here.
I forgot that Willie once again.
But everything else, I agree with.
Oh, okay.
Just what barbecue. You just watch. Well, careful there. Careful.
Well, I will have you know, there was a period of time that we did have some North Carolina barbecue up here. We did.
Lexington or Eastern? Vinegar or mustard based?
Oh, it was mustard based.
Ooh, vinegar is my favorite.
Vinegar's your favorite? Okay.
Vinegar based. Yeah.
So yeah, we used to have all different kinds of barbecue. Kind of barbecue. Barbecue. Yeah, seriously, it's like 4 different states worth of barbecue here. The Tennessee barbecue, like all of it for a period of time. It's like, but after the pandemic, a lot of that stuff like went away. But we still got a few barbecue places out here smoking meats and whatnot. So
we've had a pretty decent resurgence of it ourselves too, as things started to calm down post-pandemic. Is a lot of these folks that had been doing it on the side were like, hey, I can afford to open this storefront now because prices are low here and stuff. So a lot of these folks that were just doing like their own smoking in parking lots and stuff have now gotten storefronts and things like that. And damn, it's some good barbecue.
Nice.
We got a joint called I think it's like Potter House Barbecue or something like that. And like it's at a place called Gray Line Station. And like you can smell it from miles away. And when I say they smoke them meats, they smoke them meats. Like if you walk in there just to get a to-go order, it don't matter if you're there for 3 minutes, you gonna walk out smelling like smoke. Like your clothes, everything. You gotta wash your clothes twice to get that smell out your clothes.
Nice.
That's the way it should be.
It's smelling good though. It's smelling good. So
now I want barbecue. This is a problem.
Well, you need to go on down to Hickory, North Carolina. Actually, the best is Lexington. Oh my God, Lexington with barbecue. We got a place called Barbecue Joe's in Archdale. Woo!
Uh-oh.
Woo! They're hush puppies. Woo! Ooh, baby.
I do love a hush puppy.
oh my
Oh, they got hush puppy rings.
really
So good.
Ooh.
It's just they put the batter. Like, it's just a batter in a circle.
Guys, I'm so hungry now.
We devolved into barbecue talk.
Oh.
Like I said, North Carolina is the best place for barbecue. That's where barbecue was originated. Come on.
Oh, man. Now I want barbecue so
You want to fight? I'll go.
I don't want to fight. I want to eat barbecue.
Yeah, now we want barbecue.
We'll fight, get hungry, then eat barbecue after, and give it a good back pat. Good job. Good. Hey, you punched me in the gut, but this barbecue is making it better. I'm drooling.
I've enjoyed
So,
this
yeah.
trip down multiple different lanes of conversation that have all been interesting to me.
Hey, that's what we do. That's what we do.
Exactly.
Bring me on the show. I will bring up the random shit. That's my job.
I love it. Well, I know for a fact we need to have you back closer to when this book's dropping for sure. And I'm sure there'll be other reasons to bring you back. We don't need reasons. We enjoy doing it. But when we can give you a chance to shamelessly self-promote, we'll of course allow you to do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So yeah, we got to do it at least 2 months out so that the book will be in previews, so we can
right.
get people to get to their comic book
Yeah.
shorts and order it. Yeah, we don't want to do it when the book's coming out. We want to do it 2 months early for previews.
That's right.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And you've got my interest really piqued when you're like, I can't tell you anything about what's in it. Now I'm like, oh, what's he doing that he's not allowed to talk about? What kind of crazy stuff's going on here?
Oh yeah, I can't say nothing. I can't. So
Could I tempt you with some good barbecue?
Oh.
Private.
I got peeps. I got peeps in North Carolina, so I got peeps there. So like every time we go there, like, hey, we're gonna take you over here and get you some.
Hey, if you want good like fast food barbecue, Cookout. They got 40 different types of milkshakes right there for you too.
Yo, we gotta cook. We gotta cook out down the street.
You got Cookout in Kentucky? Woo! Oh, Cookouts are so good. Those the Cookout trays, so cheap and so good.
Listen. I'm tell you something. When back in like 2014, in 2014, back in my bachelor life, trying to figure out life. Remember one day, Cookout had just opened. Been open for like 2 weeks. And like me and a couple friends, we was going through some hard times. And we was like, okay, let's meet at the cookout. And for like at that time, $7, I got 2014. This isn't 2022 money. It's a different thing. Although it's still inexpensive, still that $7 went a long way in 2014 because I got drink, 2 hot dogs, fries, hush puppies, and like something else for $7. I was just like,
Damn.
Be okay.
Back in 2014, I think $5.55 would give you a cookout tray with one of the entrees, 2 sides, a drink, and that was $5.50.
Yeah, man.
Or 55 cents, yeah.
Sometimes
It's
there's some
a
days
little bit
like,
more.
some days like, oh, like if I'm at work, I'm like, okay, I gotta get some lunch. I didn't pack anything, and like I'm like, all right, let's just run a cookout real quick. Plain hot dog, a chicken quesadilla, and some Cajun fries. Oh, okay, it's $8. Oh, okay, that's fine.
Careful with that chicken quesadilla, because some places don't offer it, because apparently it's a pain in the ass to make.
Yeah. See, like here, like a lot of like the like whether it's fast food or actual restaurant, they will purchase meat from like local vendors, local vendors. So like so like they'll get the chicken here and they make them joints quick, and like oh man, it's so good. Like it's good and cheap, but it don't taste nasty. It makes me happy.
Oh yeah, there's a place we have here. I don't know how widespread, but Biscuitville. They show you like we get our chicken at this city nearby, pickles from over here, everything.
Look,
It shows you like we get it over there.
If you want to talk biscuits, I already told you. It's Tudor's
Biscuitville,
Biscuit
man.
World. Tudor's
Here's the biscuit fight
Biscuit
again.
World.
Oh, we got one of them too.
Yeah.
We got a Tudor's Biscuit.
Tudor's
World.
Biscuit
Well, I
World's
tried one of
amazing.
them. It's not the best.
Oh,
Biscuitville, baby.
Yo, we got a Tudor's Biscuit World, like it's about 10, 15 minutes away. Okay?
so good.
The line goes out into the street.
Yep.
Like folks trying to get to work, and they like, why is traffic backed up? Folks trying to get into Tudor's Biscuit World at like 7 o'clock in the morning. It's
Blocking traffic.
wild out here in these Tudor streets.
Tudor's is weird though too, because like they close at like 1 or 2 o'clock. They're done. They're really open for like breakfast and lunch. They don't care about anything after that.
Look, man, look, they know their customers.
Yeah.
They know their customers. Like, look, folks ain't coming out here for biscuits at like 4 p.m. You got this window. We're going to make you want this biscuit from 7 to 1 p.m. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to make you crave this biscuit for this time. When you can't get that biscuit after 1 o'clock, you're going to be feeding for that biscuit tomorrow morning. So guess what? Your ass going to be there at 7
Yeah,
o'clock.
you're not wrong. And let me tell you something. They used to have 2 in town here. One was downtown where the same street is where all the bars are.
Mm-hmm.
That place was busy as hell the next morning on a Saturday morning or Sunday morning because all those college students would wake up all hungover and they'd be going to go get them some biscuits. I was an old man at that point in time in comparison. I was just down there to get a biscuit because I was going to the farmer's market. These hungover kids are like, oh my God. That's right. I was going to the farmer's market.
See,
Chris, am I about to be old enough? Because I'm right under you. To like, you know what? It's a fine Sunday morning
Will.
to go to the farmer's market.
Hey man, my farmer's
I'm not
market,
that fucking old.
Good enough.
they got
Good
fresh donuts there.
Shut your mouth over there.
They got fresh donuts there. They got fresh fruit. They got fresh meats. They got all sorts of stuff. You can pick up all sorts of stuff at the farmer's market and take
At
it home.
Tudor's?
It's a great deal.
Nothing wrong with that.
And you
Nothing
get a
wrong with
biscuit,
that.
and you could get a biscuit beforehand, but they're no longer downtown, so you have to drive a little bit to get to Tudor's now. But it's some good stuff. I can't recommend it.
Yes, let's meet up at the farmer's market. Yes.
Man.
get you a bushel of tasty apples.
Okay,
Actually,
now
last time I was there-
that's talking me into it. I love me some fucking
Last time I was there, I got a bag of
Honey
green
Crisp
beans
or
about
Granny
like
Smith,
this.
baby. That's where it's
Great.
at.
It was green beans, man. So I could.
Oh, man.
Now I feel old, but I'm
I
okay
wanna
with
make
it.
it apple
I've
pie.
embraced my old manishness.
Need to
Yeah.
get some.
It ain't that bad. It ain't that
cloves,
bad.
Some cinnamon. Gonna make a nice apple pie.
You got Willie fiending for apples right now.
The answer is biscuits, Willie. It's biscuits.
Yeah, but we ain't got one of those bullshit you got. We got Biscuitville, but they close
Microwave
about an hour and a half.
biscuits. I can have biscuits and bacon after this. Hell yeah. I just realized I got biscuits waiting in the fridge.
Or I can go get some flour with some shortening in it and get some buttermilk and just make my own
You
biscuits.
could make your own biscuits. There's nothing wrong with
Look at
that.
you being fancy. Look at you.
Well, I know how to make. I made biscuits before. I know how to make some good biscuits.
You in North Carolina, you better know how to make some biscuits.
It's true.
Learn from my grandmother, just like everyone else did in the state.
There you
I
go.
know.
There you go. There you go.
I know
That's the
biscuits,
answer.
but I live
Who'd you
in
learn from? My grandmother. Oh, me too.
I know biscuits, but I live in pepperoni roll country. That's what we're known for here. Pepperoni rolls.
You live in Meth County.
You're not wrong. But
West Virginia is known for meth. Excuse
no,
me.
West Virginia is known for pepperoni rolls, actually. But
What are rolls of just pepperoni? Like, what do you mean? Like
Tell
talking
you
about
what,
pizza
Willie,
rolls?
next time you're here, I'll get you a good.
You trying to say
pepperoni roll.
pizza rolls?
No, it's
like
not anywhere near the same.
okay, not Tostino's pizza rolls, but something else. Is like cheese rolled up
such
in
pepperoni.
pepperoni.
Blasphemy.
And yeah,
You don't
Just
necessarily.
bite
You
into
can.
it,
Some
that's it?
people make them with cheese. Some people don't. Some people make them with stick pepperoni. Some people make them with shredded pepperoni. Some people make them with just the sliced pepperoni. There's all sorts of different ways you can make pepperoni rolls.
Hmm.
So y'all got pepperoni, meth, and mansion. Damn.
Yeah, aren't we the lucky ones?
and Cole. Don't forget Cole.
Getting cold, yes.
Yeah, trust me, I can't forget. They advertise everywhere.
Cole needs advertising. What?
Yeah.
Who
Look,
doesn't know about Cole?
Willie, there's all about the friends of coal here that advertise and
Yeah.
tout the values of it so people will vote a certain way. And in fact, when the West Virginia state legislature made West Virginia University play Marshall University in football because we didn't want to do it, they touted it as the Friends of Coal Bowl, and that's who sponsored it, was the Friends of Coal.
Yeah, we there's a Friends of Coal like lobbyist group in Kentucky too.
Yep.
Yeah, so much so. Then the only reason why the Friends of Coal thing I believe happened here is because there's some folks in Kentucky that were like really want to push for solar energy. Cool.
Yep.
You know, hey, there's some benefits to solar energy depending on where you live. And then like the Friends of Coal thing like made its way to Kentucky, and I remember the funniest thing. Like the Friends of Coal people like made this sticker and sign, basically saying that solar energy can't work because you lose your power once the sun goes away.
Yep. Because there's not batteries or anything.
Yep.
Yeah, at nighttime you lose your power, and I'm just like, that's not how the science works, fam.
You know what
But-
capacitors are, right?
But if you meet a simpleton will believe you.
They're the argue science.
I'm a
yeah.
simpleton and I know this. What's their excuse?
Just like the same people that will tell you windmill power won't work because what if the wind stops blowing? You'll have no
Yeah.
power at all. That's not how this
You know.
works.
That's not how
Oh,
any of
what if we run out of wind? I've heard someone actually say that out loud.
Yeah, didn't you know your outlet is plugged in straight to the windmill? So if that stops moving, no power, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep. That's how they want people to think it works.
So that's when you have to get out there and you have to spin the windmill yourself.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, you hook your bicycle up to it and you pedal, and that spins the windmill, and then
Look,
that provides
There's
power.
a whole episode of Rick and Morty about how this could all work out. Let's be honest. It's
Is
the
it
Col-
the one
there is-
about
it's the Colbert
battery
episode.
and the battery?
car battery.
the car
yeah.
battery episode.
All right, just make sure that's what you're talking about. Just
Peace
making
amongst
sure.
worlds, motherfucker.
Keep summer
Please
safe.
stop.
Side note: Rick and Morty's back. It started re-airing again last weekend. So
I won't know until 6 months later because that's when it starts streaming. Apparently,
you could buy the episodes online.
or I could just wait and watch them on HBO Max.
Yeah, but then you got to give Business Daddy money.
I already give HBO Max money. I don't know who that is referring to.
That's what John Oliver calls HBO Max / Warner Discovery, his Business Daddy.
No.
I mean, to him, it is his business daddy.
Yeah, but John Oliver also takes shots at them all the time, and they know they
Nope.
can't do anything to him, and it's great.
No, because why would they? He makes ratings for him, so yeah, fucking talk all the shit you want. We're crying in our millions of dollars. Boo! Who cares? They're making fun of us. We're faceless beings. They don't care.
You're not wrong. Now, that being said, I just did look at the time and went, holy crap, we've been going for a while. So we need to wrap things up real quick because I know we all got other stuff to
Right
do
here on
real
my
quick.
screen.
yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So let's do just a quick power way through it. We have a traditional way of ending this show. It's a segment called What I'm Into. We'll share with you guys watching live or listening later the geeky and nerdy stuff we've been getting into because you may want to check it out yourselves. And then we'll shut things down. Let's try and get that wrapped up here in about 10 minutes or so. I'm going to kick things off because it's pretty simple. I've been playing a bit of video games. I played some Pokemon Scarlet. I have strong feelings about the current direction of the Pokemon franchise, and I'll share them next week because we had more fun doing other stuff today. But
Foreshadow, Willie was right.
yeah, Willie was right. They sold, but here's the problem: they sold
I
10
hate
million copies of Pokemon like in the first week, so they're never going to fix anything now.
Yeah, they're
That's the
crying
problem.
in their millions of dollars.
Grinding that
There's
Pokemon money.
there's severe issues with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Severe issues that they really need to address that they won't because so many people bought them, and I'm part of the problem because I bought.
I was gonna say that.
And the best game they've made recently is the Pokemon Arceus Legends game. That game's fantastic. Love it. So much better than Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So much better. Other stuff we can get into. Just started Far Cry 6 last night. Finally got around to picking that up. Having a bunch of fun with it. Honestly, give me Giancarlo Esposito being a bad guy, and I want to watch it. That's what it comes down to. Because he's the main antagonist in this video game, as running a country similar to Cuba. Let's put it that way. He's the leader.
Danny Trejo also has a moment in there too. I
Does
think it was advertised as like something they came out with after the game came out. It was like a little update or something. Yeah, we got Danny Trejo. I
hadn't gotten that far with it yet. I watched the trailer for the Witcher Next Gen upgrade. It looks pretty awesome, so I'm looking forward to finally going and playing Witcher 3 when the Next Gen upgrade drops on December 14th.
Finally playing it.
So I bought it on sale, like the Game of the Year edition, like 2 years ago. It was on sale for $10, and that's when they said, "Hey, there's going to be an updated version we put out with the Xbox Series devices and the PlayStation 5 devices." And I went, "I'm just going to wait to play it then," and then it got pushed back because they're working on other things like fixing Cyberpunk and stuff like that. So that's why I haven't played it yet. I will give that a try. What was the other stuff I was getting? Oh yeah, watching a bunch of old Power Rangers episodes because I noticed that they have legitimately a bunch of episodes on the official Power Rangers YouTube channel. So I've gone back and watched a bunch of classic Mighty Morphin episodes. Forever Red I just watched again recently, but like they've got the episodes where the birth of the White Ranger happens and stuff like that. And I love the nostalgia of watching that and going, man, I remember watching these as a kid and being like, man, who the hell's going to be the White Ranger? Oh my God, I don't know. I should have known. Let's be honest.
The birth, like, so we're watching a child being born?
Not exactly.
Not
fair enough.
You're watching a ranger get created, but that's the stuff I've been getting into. And in amongst going back home, visiting my folks for Thanksgiving, throwing a turkey on the grill, having that with some mesquite smoke into it, some good stuff like that. Just been kind of enjoying some family time and watching TV, playing video games, stuff like that. Willie, why don't you go next?
Beat God of War Ragnarok. Ending was a little weird, but I mean, it's still good. The whole game, fucking great. Going to go through and doing some cleanup. What I will be getting into is I need to fucking pre-order some Midnight Suns because I've been looking forward to Marvel's Midnight Suns for a while. So,
Willie, aren't you the one that told me not to pre-order video games?
Don't pre-order games that you know you won't like. See, I don't know if I'll like this, but I'm pretty sure I will like it because of the deck building aspect of it.
Risky.
Fair. I'll allow it.
And like God of War, I knew that was going to be great. I pre-ordered that a couple days before.
That one should have been great, and by all accounts has been. And I kind of want to play it, but I'm in no rush because there's so much other stuff in my backlog.
If it doesn't win Game of the Year, it's rigged. That's my thing.
Elden Ring is probably a strong contender from whatever.
I know. Said. Trust me, I get that, but it's God of War. In the first 20 minutes, you're already fucking fighting a bear and fighting Thor. What more do you want?
That's fair. That's fair.
Like, come on, you go through so much. You have to fight off this crazy shape-shifting bitch from attacking you and killing you. She stabs you. This is in the first 20 minutes. And yeah, there's seriously 50 hours of gameplay in that game. And that's just for story and for, extra stuff, like from like little extra things. It's probably about a good solid 40 hours for just story.
Oh, hey, Willie, I found you can buy Morbius in 4K for $13, so I'm sure you're going to be buying that. Is it Morbin time?
I mean, for $13, that's not that bad.
$13.99 for the 4K disc with a digital copy.
With a digital copy?
With the digital copy.
It's Morbin time.
You're overpaying by $12.
I mean, I'll watch some shit for $13. I paid more for worse.
Hey man, there were people that once paid for Battlefield Earth. So
That's true.
hey,
That's a fair point.
13 for Morbius ain't bad, I guess.
You can also get the Venom 2-pack on Blu-ray for $14.99.
Okay, you can shut your fucking mouth with that shit.
Look, I thoroughly enjoy Let There Be Carnage.
I
want to see Let There Be Carnage, but I ain't paying for it.
I thoroughly enjoy the Venom movies because it is everything that the 90s comics gave us that everyone is so scared to admit. It's everything that the 90s comics gave us. The ridiculousness of it and all. And they embrace it. That's my whole thing. If you're going to be ridiculous, embrace every last bit of it.
I was fair. I just didn't like the
Woody
writing.
Harrelson's wig.
I couldn't get over it. The first movie. The first Venom. I haven't seen the second, but yeah, I can't get over it. It's just that writing was so bad. It hurt me. It hurt so much. Like, I could do better. And I don't know shit. And I could do better.
Oh, Willie. I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I could do better.
We've got someone that writes for a living here, and you're like, I can do better.
I said I think I can do better than Venom. Like an armless leather.
Oh,
like, who fucking wrote that line? I want to punch him right in the cheek. Just bam. Just, you deserve it. You fucking deserve it. But yeah, so I'm getting Marvel's Midnight Suns because a Marvel game is a deck building game, kind of like not similar to Snap, but but with a storyline and everything. It's made by the same people who did XCOM. Sure, I've been looking forward to that for 2 years. It was supposed to come out in March 2022, and it didn't come out in March 2022. Yeah, trust me. I was like, wasn't it supposed to come out? It's like 2 days after it's supposed to come. We look at Google. Google still said it got released 2 days ago. Scroll. Oh, here's something lower down on Google. Got pushed back. Why is that not up top? Why do you still have that date up there, Google? Whatever. But of course, had Thanksgiving time. Very busy all week. Got my English ivy planted out in the front yard. Hopefully start growing that big ass lattice that's not attached to the house. Smart about this. And if sure, there's a chance it could creep out, but there's a sidewalk where I have to walk to get in my front door. If I ever see it start creeping over there, stomp.
That's fair.
He stomped it so hard he broke his video.
He did. I think that's fantastic.
Oh no!
I think he got disconnected. Awesome. Did he unplug his computer?
A lot of moistness.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, he's back.
Will, you stomped and everything froze.
Yeah,
everything froze.
There it goes. Yeah, look outside. It's a little moist outside, so that's good news for it.
All right, that's
very
what Willie's
moist
been getting into. We got two left. Lockman, why don't you go, and then we'll let Sean tie things up at the end with what he's been getting into and where we can find more of his stuff online.
Yeah, doing our annual Thanksgiving stuff. So yeah, we watched some football, watched our annual watching of Dutch, which I still insist is the best Thanksgiving movie ever because Ed O'Neill is a badass. I love that fucking movie, and my fiance is nice enough to watch it with me. Emptied out a couple more boxes. I got nothing left in the office on the floor that you can't see now except for one big box of comics that I got to clear through. But yeah, so like I got my my Hulk up. I got my signed New Warriors #1 signed by Mark Bagley. This is over here is Invincible 75 signed by Ryan Otley. And this is one of the first X-Men comics with Juggernaut in it. So yeah, I put up some of my old books where they're slightly visible off in the far distance behind me. But yeah, got almost everything cleaned out of the office finally, up off the floor, boxes emptied. So making my woman happy because we've been here over a year now and I still haven't finished unpacking and she wants this damn room done. So I've been working on that. She started putting up some Christmas decorations. We'll probably put up our tree next weekend, which I now have 3 more of the Star Wars figures for the Hallmark Death Star tree. So I think I've got 6 figures now besides the Death Star that goes on top of the tree. So it's going to be fun to hook all those up and see all the different voice lines once now that there's 6 figures. We finished Andor, speaking of Star Wars, which was fantastic. That show is just so well written, so well acted. And it's like the least fantastical of the Star Wars stories, but at the same time, it's just so well done. And like the fight between like the start of a rebellion going against the Empire and seeing Like there was a ridiculous thing where Cassian was stuck in a prison making these like big pieces of metal. You're like, what the hell are they working on? Those aren't like feet to an AT-AT. And then when you see the post credit sequence of the last episode and you find out what they were making, you're like, oh shit, that's what Cassian was building. That's fucked up. But yeah, fantastic show. Yeah, other than that, put a pause on playing Uncharted 2 because I have ordered a PlayStation 5. So I've got a God of War Ragnarok Edition digital PlayStation 5 coming in from Walmart. So I needed to go back and restart my play of God of War 2018 because I never finished it. And so I'm now like 2 hours into that game. We got a nice poof pillow in the... back to just listen to y'all boy over and over again. So yeah, we got a nice new poof pillow in the den. So I've been breaking that in and spent about 2 hours playing God of War yesterday. So that was fun. But other than that, just looking forward to the new PlayStation showing up because then I get to play Ghost of Tsushima on PS5. I get to play Miles Morales on PS5. I get to play God of War Ragnarok on PS5. I'll be able to upgrade my Dead by Daylight and Fortnite accounts, so both of those will be on PS5. We'll move the PS4 Pro out to the living room so that the R2 button that doesn't work on that stupid PlayStation will be gone. And my fiance will be happy because she'll be able to play her new Disney game because she got the Disney like Dream Valley game, which is like a mix of like Sims and building and grinding, and she's loving it. But when she plays out there, she can't access her tools because you have the game's brand new and you can't configure your controller. So the R2 button on that game brings up your tool menu for your watering can and your shovel and your pickaxe. And she can't access any of those tools when she's playing in the living room. So she's going to be happy as hell when the new game system shows up and we swap everything through. But yeah, other than that, just doing the regular Thanksgiving stuff, watch some football, which was nice. And looking forward to, waiting for the PlayStation 5 to show up. Yeah.
Could have been an
Play some
Xbox.
games.
I'm sad.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I
yeah,
already
you can
own
see those
Miles.
everywhere.
Yeah, I already own Miles and like 4 other games on PS4
Yeah,
that
I'm
I'm going to
kidding.
get a free upgrade for. So I had to buy a new PS5. I didn't have a choice, man.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. So, side note, real quick: regulators are potentially going to stop the acquisition of Microsoft's acquisition of Blizzard. Very interesting.
I don't care. Fuck Blizzard.
Or they're going to sue, or something to that effect. They haven't decided to yet, but it seems like the writing is on the wall that regulators here in the United States are going to get involved. So that'll be fun.
Oh,
When someone talked me into...
the regulators are finally waking up, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, when someone asked me to join them for Overwatch, I don't know, like last year, I was like, they made me change my name to a Blizzard account. So I was like, all right, so I've made Blizz Sucks. And they kept for the longest time. It could still be there. I don't know.
Who knows? But on that note, we'll let Sean wrap things up for us. Please feel free to self-promote, tell people where we can find you, and also what kind of stuff you've been getting into. We like to hear what everyone's getting into.
Well, you know what? Like, I've slowly gotten back into like this Masters of the Universe stuff, and like they have
awesome.
Sunman.
Nice.
Sunman was an actual character that was part of a company called Olmec Toys, OLMEC. And Sunman was created by a black woman. I think La Eason. I don't like messing up names, but back in the 80s, she wanted to create toys for her son because, like, her son was like, love Masters of the Universe, stuff like that. She's like, but I don't see me. You know what I mean? And this is before, like, Mattel came out with Clamp Channel. So she was like, you know what? I'm going to create a toy company, make my own action figures. She came up with Sunman. Okay, and the rulers of the sun. They had like about 12 different action figures, of like characters from like all different types of races and aliens and stuff like that. But it was very multicultural. It's really cool. But they were very hard to find, and so it lasted a couple years. And so when Mattel got the rights back to do Masters of the Universe toys again, they always had the rights because of their toys. But for a while, Super 7 was making a Masters of the Universe toy. And then once they saw what Super 7 was doing and the money that they were making, they were like, oh, people do want Masters of the Universe. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to take this back. And so they started making Masters of the Universe toys, 3 or 4 separate lines. One thing they wanted to do was they were like, you know what? Let's bring Sunman in and make Sunman part of the Masters of the Universe. So they brought in Sunman. They got the molds to make Sunman. And so now there's like, Sunman's part of the MLTU, and all the characters are too. And they're slowly implementing all the characters from the Sunman line into Masters of the Universe. And like there's like 3 different versions of like the Sunman. So like this is the basic one. Okay? So like this is the basic one. But they also have one from like this type of mold that has like 2 different heads. But they also have a Masterverse series, and the Masterverse series, you know, the haircut's more modern, you know, like, you know, the build's more sleek and stuff like that. So like I've been really getting into that, and like also it's like getting into like a bunch of toy research, because Olmec Toys also made toys called Bronze Bombers. Bronze Bombers was basically like the black version of GI Joe. They were sold at like Kmart, and Kmart was really good for you know, selling name brand toys, but they also would sell off-brand stuff back in the day. You know, when Kmart was like a thing. So like I could go to a store, I'd go to a Kmart and I would see G.I. Joe, but then I would see Bronze Bombers and I'm like, what's this? But then I would also see American Defense. Now, come to find out, American Defense was like really generic G.I. Joe, but the company that made American Defense borrowed molds from Hasbro to make their toys. So essentially, they were G.I. Joes. Now, but here's the thing with Bronze Bombers. Bronze Bombers, if you try to find those on the collector's market, you will pay. And I mean pay. And by pay, I mean, no, you really gonna pay. So, and back in like the late 90s, they did a commemorative set where Olmec Toys reached out to Hasbro, got the molds from Hasbro, and they redid them in
that's
the
cool.
Joe style molds. Those toys are worth, Bronze Bombers are worth good money. If you can ever find them, they're worth good money. I have a friend that has the original collection.
Wow.
He bought them at Kmart, and we used to go shopping together for toys all the time. He bought them all because they were like $1.99 a piece.
Yeah.
Compared to Joe's were like $2.99, $3.99. Bronze Bombers half that price. You know, and like I just didn't think anything of it. You know, so I've been like really doing like research into that. There's also this new magazine called Toy Collector.
Ooh, is this like in the same vein of what Toy Fair used to be back in the day?
It's a little bit. It's better. It's a lot better. So like you got toy history, and like, you know, talk about toy history. Like this month's issue.
I'm looking this up right now.
These Monster Force toys.
Nice.
But they're also like, say for instance, they have like the history of like certain Rankin Bass toys, like, you know, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, the Toxic Avenger. You know, they talk about like, you know, how Playmates is coming back with new Star Trek toys. This is the second issue. The first issue is available for sale at Big Bad Toy Store. You can also get a subscription. I got a subscription, but I subscribe from the second issue on. But it's made by the guy who did the Kickstarters for those book collections called Toys That Time Forgot, and it's like a collection of toys that never got made. But he has like, you know, prototypes, you know, like you know, drawings and like character concepts and stuff like that, and pictures.
Nice.
And like he had like 3 volumes of it on Kickstarter, like, you know, 3 separate times. I have all 3 volumes, and so I'm looking forward to like cracking those open. And besides that, Thanksgiving was cool. Spent time with family. My fiance met a bunch of my family on my mom's side. Got to watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is my fiance's like favorite things. And that movie now has a close place in my heart. So, you know, did that, watching football, and also like been watching a bunch of Secret Galaxy videos, formerly known as Toy Galaxy, on YouTube.
Fantastic channel. Fantastic.
Yes, shout outs to Dan and Greg of Secret Galaxy TV. They do like really cool stuff. Like they just did one on the history of Fraggle Rock.
Yep.
Also they did one about DuckTales. And
their channel is so easy to watch one episode of something and then just spiral into, oh, I want to learn about this now, and I want to learn about this. And the next thing you know, hours have gone by, and you're like, holy crap, that was awesome.
Yeah, and they have a separate channel that they call like Toy Galaxy 2, TOO, where basically Dan Larson, Toy Galaxy, does like unboxing of like toys and stuff that he's found like, you know, like markets and stuff like that, or stuff that like people have sent to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, like I've been doing that. So like, yeah, that's what's been going on. That and planning for this wedding, and like I said, that's coming up. So
that's awesome.
14 days as of this recording, so it's creeping up.
And side note, I may have just subscribed to Toy Collector magazine.
and closing out,
you weak man.
Closing out, you can find me at SeanPryor.com. That's my website. You can find me when I'm still on Twitter from time to time at Sean R. Pryor, Pryor. Find me on the Hive at Hive Social App at Sean R. Pryor. On Instagram at the Sean P Show. I think I got a co-host tag, but I can't remember what that is. I can't remember, but you can also find me on Linktree. My Linktree page has pretty much everything I do on it. I mean, everything.
Linktree's gonna be making some serious money right now as everyone's trying to find the new place they want to call home online.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So, like my Linktree, give me 1 second, and I will give everybody. As I log into my Linktree right now. So my Linktree is linktr.ee/Sean Pryor, SHAWNPRYOR, and that's got all my links in all of them. So there you can find everywhere I am, what I do, my author pages, where you can buy my books, where I'm at on the social medias, all of it, and my Patreon too. So which is going to relaunch in January.
Nice.
Yeah, good times for all.
Well, Sean, thank you for joining us. We always love having you on here. I mean, I don't know that I don't even know if there's any structure to what we talked about. They're just geeking out about what's new in your world, what's new in our world, and just geeky stuff in general. And sometimes that's the most fun.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I can't say anything enough to all three of y'all. This is always fun. It's a good time. I appreciate y'all so much. I hope that y'all have a fantastic holiday. Whether you celebrate Christmas, wherever you celebrate. I hope that y'all have a good time, have some peace, some fun.
Well, thank you.
Y'all know where I'm at. I'm always around.
We appreciate that. And you guys know we'll have Sean back. We don't need excuses. We're just like, hey, Sean, you want to chat with us? Now we can come up with some good ones. Like, hey, you got a Power Rangers book that's in previews. You better come talk with us again. But I'm sure he'll be back.
No, I know how to do it. Hey, Sean, you want to fight about some barbecue?
You want to
fight about some barbecue?
I'll be right there. What you talking about? I'm at
You fight about some barbecue? I'm a big guy. Big appetite.
I'll bring all them sauces with me, fam. I'll bring all of them.
Oh, you better watch it.
Well, on that note, everyone watching live, we are going to start shutting things down. Please don't forget you can find us over at GonnaGeek.com, where the podcast is streamed and backed up with everything else. We stream this show live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, over at www.geeks.live. That is the streaming home of the Gonna Geek Network. You can find us, all sorts of other shows there. Please go check them out. But on that note, I guess we are going to start shutting things down. Again, thank you to everyone who joined us. Big thank you to Sean for joining us again. And I guess we're going to start shutting this thing down and see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek radio app, and over to our network home at GonnaGeek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@GonnaGeek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at Incompetech.com.